Heidi here. I've been very excited to make this video. I guess it's sort of a haul in a way, but not quite, because as you can see by the title, everything in this video I made for myself. These are all by me, for me. It's a hobby, so I'm not interested in monetizing it just at the moment yet. I'm not sure if I ever will. I've been getting back into knitting and crochet recently. I did kind of dabble in it many years ago, but I didn't really get going with it properly. However, recently I found lots of really interesting yarn in charity shops, and that kind of sparked my interest again. I think first of all, I'll just show you some accessories that I've made. So first we have this bracelet, and this I knitted, and this yarn I got in a charity shop, I think for about 50p or something like that. And I thought it was sparkly at first, but it's actually just got a kind of plastic thread going through it, so it kind of looks a bit sparkly, but it's more shiny. This is a curtain ring that I also found in a charity shop. I found several packs of them, and I've been slowly using them up, and I added this on to go around my finger. So this bit I just knitted originally as a kind of experimental bit, just to see how it would look, and I used some really small needles for this, but because it's not that stretchy, when I decided to make it into a bracelet, it was way too big to kind of sit comfortably, so I just added this to keep it in place, and it just makes it much more interesting as well. I like that this curtain ring is a matte metal, so it kind of looks a little bit Viking-esque, I think. This actually matches it because I've used the same sort of materials to make it, but it's this collar here. So it's the same yarn, same needles, and I used more of those rings, and this bit was on the collar, I think one of the first ones I ever bought, but I went in a hot tub at one point and I forgot to take it off, and it was real leather, so the leather went really weird and peely and gross, so I salvaged this bit and I finally got around to using it. And on the back here, because it's just knitted, so it's not very strong, like it doesn't hold itself very well, so I've reinforced it with this, and I think I'll also reinforce these bits because it kind of sags a little bit in a strange way, so just a quick modification I still need to do, but I thought I'd include it as it's almost finished anyway. And I've got this kind of hook at the back. This is, I don't even know where I got this, it was just in a bag of random metal bits that I've kept, and I've again just been using up. So yeah, it's a very different style to all the other neckwear that I have. So yeah, and I like that it's kind of like a matching set with this, which is fun. And here we have another bracelet. This one I actually made using a tutorial from Nuclear Snail, which is a post-apocalyptic kind of costuming channel. And obviously, like, this isn't a costume piece for me, it's just an accessory. But I will link that tutorial in the description if you'd like to see it. So this is kind of my version of what the tutorial was. And this here, I found it buried in the ground, which is why it's got mud on it. And it's kind of like that. It's something you put into a nail gun. So it's got the plastic casing, and then the nails in it. And I thought it looked really cool on a bracelet like this. And then on here we've got a rivet, which I took off a pair of jeans and I managed to reuse it, which was handy. And on this side, this is a stud that I took out of the lapel of a leather jacket, which started peeling, so I just took off the studs and scrapped the rest. And this bit here is a genuine leather, and that was from a leather jacket that I got given, and I've just been using up the leather from that. And then this denim is part of a waistband of some jeans that I also scrapped for parts, and it's another of those hooks here. And then this bit here, it's part of a bra strap, so I just used it to hook that onto. And yeah, I'm really happy with this. Wear it quite a lot. And the final bracelet I have to show you. So this cog is a part of a pack that I got off Amazon many years ago, and then just a bit of scrap chain. And this is, you know, on a bag when you have like the sliding adjuster bits, and then you have something that kind of keeps the end down. I think that's what that was. And again, it's just been in my bag of bits for years, and I thought it would make a good clasp. And this is the final accessory. So this is, as you can see, a necklace, and it's just lots of scrap chain, a few of these cog bits, and this ring bit that I have, and this quite chunky lobster claw clasp. Again, bag of bits. And it kind of matches that bracelet as well because of the cogs and the chain. So I've made several unintentional matching sets. First clothing item I have is this top here, and more of the same yarn, but I used a much looser, uneven knit, which I really love, an uneven knit like this. And I added the rings on the bottom so it would kind of pull everything down so you can properly see the weave of it. And then at the back I knitted these little short bits to lace it up with, and this is just the yarn as is to lace it up with. I think it kind of looks like something a siren would wear, because it kind of looks like a fishing net, which is really cool. Now I have quite a few items that are made out of the same yarn and with the same sort of loose knit as well. So this bit I made into a shrug, and this was the first bit of knitting that I did with this yarn. I didn't know what I was going to make when I started out, but this is what I ended up with. Just knitted this plain rectangle bit, and then I cast off all of the middle bit here, and then continued knitting on each end, which is why it's got this kind of weird bit here, because I continued knitting down here and then came out to make this. I just sewed it underneath here to make this little sleeveless shrug thing. And this actually does keep a bit of warmth in, because it's nice and fuzzy. It's not real mohair, it's imitation stuff. And then I have these matching arm warmers, just really easy to make. I just knitted a really long rectangle, and here's the seam. Just sewed it all together using the yarn, so it's got a quite quite a subtle seam going down there. And then at the top here I used this cotton webbing stuff, much more soft and flexible than the plasticky stuff. And originally I did tie it here with a slip knot, but I found that didn't hold well enough, so I changed it to this bit of elastic, and now they stay up really, really well. These next two items I made inspired by something I already own, which is actually what these straps are from. I have a dress by Spank London, which is just basically a tube, a knitted tube, so I thought I would make something inspired by that, and I started out knitting and just thought I would make a top first, so it is completely see-through. I was thinking about adding lining. I'm still not sure if I will or not. It would probably make it a bit easier to wear. But yeah, I just again knitted a long rectangle of yarn, and then to join it I sewed in this zip, and at the bottom of the zip I put another of those curtain rings, and I put this ring in so I could attach the skirt part of it, so it's kind of a detachable dress. And here is the skirt of it. This, I once again, just a long rectangle of knitting, and I did it quite uneven and loose, as I like that kind of look. And so this is the bit that you would attach to the ring if you're wearing them together. And then if I want to just wear the skirt on its own, I will attach this to this ring here, which will keep it up. And I've also got a zip in the side here. And I added a few random bits of metal at this end to kind of pull it down and give it a bit more shape. Knitted fabric underneath here is a bottom of a jumper that I cropped, and I did actually get paint on it a while ago, so I kind of put lots of holes in here to kind of get the paint out of it. And here and there we have some more of that cotton webbing, and I added this on to kind of pull the knitting down so it would show the knit properly, and of course it adds another fun detail. And then I put another ring on the back here just to even things out, give some interest to the back. And now I have one crochet item. I found this incredible genuine mohair yarn, and this is all just the same yarn. It's kind of got a fading to a different colour effect. I love this purple, such a gorgeous colour, and I really love all the fuzzy mohair. So to make this, I just looked up a tutorial for this kind of pattern on YouTube, and once I'd learnt how to do a row and go to the next row, I just started, and I did one sleeve at a time, and I actually wrote down like how many stitches I did as I went, so I could recreate it for the other sleeve. So once I had both sleeves made, I made these two bits at the front, and I wasn't actually originally planning to put a closure at the front here. Again, I just thought of the idea as I went along, and then once I had these two bits and the back panel made, I just put everything together just by adding a few more rows around the top, and I just kind of put it on, tried it on as I went to see if I had enough there yet for it to stay up, and once I got to here it stayed up and it works really, really nicely. With the sleeves here, I made them flat, and then to join it together I just did a single chain across here, which is why it's a different colour. I thought that would look quite cool, and it kind of reminds me of the belly of a snake. So I just did that all the way down to join it together, as I didn't want to have a big bulky seam on this. And this hook and eye, I actually took off a pair of socks that I never wore because they were supposed to be over the knee ones, but they were way too tight and didn't actually go over the knee. So I just took this strip of hook and eyes off, and I've been using it for other things. I've got loads more of this yarn, so I will have to come up with other things. And now we're on to the last two items. Here we have this skirt, or I guess it's more of an overskirt, and this fabric here was one of those Halloween tablecloths. So I took the whole thing and got this bit of ribbon here. It's a really thick one, so I've folded it over and sewn it lots. So I just gathered it along the top to the size that I wanted, and then I stitched on this ribbon unfolded to one side, and then this is more of the same ribbon which I've folded up and sewn so I can put the ribbons through it and scrunch it up. I then went on to the ties at the front, and I used some of that velvet ribbon stuff at the end just as a nice little detail and to keep it nice and tidy at the end. And this ribbon, and this ribbon actually, is just some stuff I had lying around, luckily. And this really thick ribbon that I think was on a present that I got at some point, and I just kept it and have used it. This is why I keep offcuts and just bits and bobs, because I do actually end up using them. It turned out to be a bit long because I made it to kind of drag on the floor, but it kept catching on loads of things. So I will be making it shorter to wear. Ooh, and it's really cool because I can wear it as a cape as well. Multifunctional. And finally, the last item I'm going to show you, I think is probably the thing I'm most proud of, because it's been a while since I've actually made an item of clothing just from bits of fabric. So here it is. Now this black velvet fabric is offcuts from a skirt that I will be having a DIY video for as well, so keep an eye out for that. This bit was the sash tie bit that went around the waist, and it already had a lining to it, so I just used that for the cup bits, and because they were already a good shape to use on that part, so that was really handy. And then the purple velvet I bought specifically for this project, and I just love the colour of it. This fishnet at the front here, that's an offcut from a top that I made into sleeves, and of course I kept the offcuts. Still got lots of that left. And then this bit, I overlaid it with the velvet, and it is a little bit bunchy, but it does the job, it's fine. I'm not too fussed. For the straps, I just bought some eyelets and hammered them in. I bet the neighbours loved me for that. But they're dog yaps all the time, so they bloody well deserve it. And then I actually made these straps a little bit too long, so I'll probably take it in a bit like this. But I put these ribbons in because I just kind of eyeballed it and I thought I needed that much extra on it. Just here, I thought it would look nice to have a little detail here. I took this bead off a choker that I modified and added it on here, and then just this little ring that I had, added that in as well. And all of these studs around here, again, just bought off Amazon ages ago. In the straps here, I used this fabric. You can't really put eyelets in stretchy fabric because they'll just pull out. So I used this as kind of a base to put the overlay of the fabric on, so it would all work nicely. And I made sure it was a nice flexible fabric, so it wouldn't be too uncomfortable. And then at the back here, I did this lace up, all with a ribbon, and I'll show you the inside of it. So I just made all of these loops of ribbon and then sewed them in with this ribbon on the other side, kind of all flat laid out. This would have been a good one to film a video for, but I didn't have the time to be doing that, which is unfortunate because it was quite a cool process. But I just used this purple ribbon on the inside just to finish it off nicely, and then just laced it up. And that's everything that I have to show you for this video. I'll be doing more of these videos for things that I make that I didn't get round to doing a video on specifically, so I can still show you things I made even if I don't have the process on video. So I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.